We're in a series looking at the Lord's Prayer, or the Our Father, as a sort of a pattern of a way we can pray, looking at each word or phrase and what it may mean. It's an 8-part series. This is the 3rd video. So at first we looked at praying Our and what that means in the context of community. Last video we looked at praying Father and what it means to have a sort of parent-child relationship with God. The next phrase of the prayer is one that I think is the most misunderstood. It's Our Father who art in heaven, or Our Father in heaven. One of the things we see about this part of the prayer as we look closer at the original text is that it actually is the plural heavens. So the most technical way to say the prayer would be to pray Our Father in the heavens, or Our Father who art in the heavens. In the Greek language in which this was written, sort of different ideas of what heaven is and what that word means. For most of us, culturally, when we think of heaven, we think it's a place far away that we go when we die. But in the context of Jesus' day, that wasn't necessarily the initial thought they would have about this idea of God being in the heavens. They talk about there being 3 heavens. The first heaven is all around you. It's the air you breathe. They didn't have a lot of different words for atmosphere. It was a pre-scientific world. So they basically had a word for sort of space. And the air around us, all this around us, this is the first heaven. The second heaven was the part of the heavens that you could see, but you could never get to, because this was before airplanes or anything like that. So the birds would fly in the heaven, the clouds were in the heaven, the sun, moon, and stars were in the second heaven, and then the third heaven was this idea that there must be something beyond that, and that beyond that is where God lives, that God is out there in this third heaven that's far away, way out in time and way up in space. And we've inherited that a lot and have sort of lost the identity of those first 2 heavens. So when we say heaven a lot, what we think of is some place that's very far away, that's after our death, and that we will get there someday, and it's where God lives. I would submit to you as you pray this prayer, not to lose that understanding, but to realize that we are praying to our Father who's in all the heavens. He's in the first heaven, he's in the second heaven, he's in the third heaven. So he's in the sky where the birds are, he's far away, but he's also right here in the air we breathe. A lot of times I think people pray this part of the prayer, and their natural instinct, maybe without even realizing it, is that we're praying our Father who's far away. But I actually think it means the opposite. I think Jesus uses the plural on purpose to say what it means is our Father who is far away, but also our Father who's right here in the air we breathe, that he's that present. That is the message of Jesus, that God has come to reign and be with us right here in the moment. So I'd encourage you, if you've been praying through these videos, to go ahead and when this video is over, spend just a couple minutes and actually take some breaths, breathe in and out physically. Take note of the air filling your lungs and being released through your mouth and nose. And then realize that God, your Father, your parent, our Father, is as close as the air you breathe.